On Monday of Holy Week, we remember the day that Jesus came into Jerusalem, and specifically he went to the temple. And on that day, we see Jesus coming into the temple not as a quiet observer, but actually as a holy disruptor, because something happened that day that disturbed him and it broke his heart. No longer was the temple a place where people could come in and worship. Now, instead of finding people worshiping, as he came into the court of Gentiles, he found money exchangers exchanging currency at inflated rates, or selling animals for sacrifices at super high cost, making it very difficult for those who are coming to worship, those who are coming to have access to God, making it difficult for them, even expensive. And Jesus comes in and utters the words that my house will be called a house of prayer, but you have made it a den of robbers. And we see the scene of Jesus in his righteous anger flipping tables and driving the money changers out. This wasn't just a spur of the moment outburst. It was actually a fulfillment of a prophetic word that came years and centuries before, because it wasn't the first time God was disgusted with someone's worship. Back in the book of Amos, chapter 5 specifically, we see God despising, actually the scripture says hating their words, hating their worship. Look what it says in Amos 5. I hate and I despise your feasts, and I take no delight in your solemn assemblies. Even though you offer me your burnt offerings and grain offerings, I will not accept them. But let justice roll down like waters and righteousness like an ever-flowing stream. God was never after rituals without righteousness. He didn't want sacrifice without justice. He wasn't impressed simply with noise without heart. Neither was Jesus. By cleansing the temple, Jesus was actually not just rejecting worship, he was actually purifying it, making it holy, making it whole, making it new. He was calling people back to something deeper, not just something on the surface, not just the rituals of the day. He was restoring access, not just to the Jews, but to all people who wanted to come and experience and worship God. But especially those who have been pushed out to the margins. As I said earlier, this was happening most likely in the court of the Gentiles, the space where only Gentiles could go. They couldn't go beyond that, because beyond that was the court of women and then the court of men, where the Jewish men were able to go into worship. So this was a spot where those who were coming in could only go so far. Their access was limited. And by cleansing this temple, he was making it possible for all to have access. So here's the question for us today. Has our worship become performance instead of presence? Have we been content with just going through the motions while ignoring the needs of others? Because in reality, Jesus is still flipping tables, not out of rage, but out of love. He wants to clean out whatever he keeps and whatever keeps us from communion with him. He wants to remove those obstacles and wants to remove that hindrance so we can have a full access to God, the access that he has made available through his own body. And here's a beautiful part of this simple story. After the temple was cleared, the blind and the lame came to him and they were healed. Once the barriers were removed, broken people found their restoration. They found their healing, they found their purpose, they found their wholeness. And that's what Jesus wants for you, and that's what Jesus wants for all of us. Not a temple full of transactions, but a life full of transformation. So today, how are you worshiping? Is it a worship that will be offered up to God and it'll be pleased and receptive by him? Or is it something that is just simply broken because we're ignoring the needs of those around us?